Welcome to the DNA Pest Control Podcast. Today is awesome, and I'm super excited to talk to Byron Duncan. He is VP of Operations from a software service that I personally use in my company. And I want to just make sure that everyone knows who's listening that there is a system out there that you guys can use, and you can step away from the old school paper printing, kind of move away from that. Byron, are you there?
Yes. Yep, I'm here.
Awesome. So, Byron, how long have you been with Pest Routes?
I've been Pest Routes actually 4 years next month.
Oh, awesome. Okay. And being the VP operations, I know we talked about it just barely, kind of what you're over and what are you over? What are you, controlling at Pest Routes?
Yeah, sure. So at Pest Routes, we invest very heavily in our customer base. And one of the ways we show that is how we structure kind of our operations side of the business. So there are actually 3 departments, all focused on the health and success of our customers. We have a very large team we call our implementation team. That's sole purpose is to help facilitate getting up and running with our software. So as soon as a new customer signs a contract with sales, they get assigned an implementation specialist whose job is really just to usher them through the onboarding process. There's training, data transfer, basically get everything up and running, and then they'll stay with you for a couple of weeks after you go live with Pest Routes. And then they'll transition off, and we'll move you into the second department, which is our support team. So this team is designed to help troubleshoot technical issues, answer questions kind of infinitely, and is included as a part of our service for our customers. We're proud of our supports, and we've got about coming up on almost 30 people on this team, but they answer questions, phone calls from our customers, and just help troubleshoot whatever may come up. And then we've got a third team, a small group called our customer success team, and they're where our support team is a little bit reactive to specific issues. Our customer success team is designed to be more proactive, so they help coordinate webinars, drive marketing, customer-facing emails, just educating our customer base on new functionality as it comes out, and a variety of other kind of initiatives that way.
Oh, awesome. Well, and to talk about the implementation team is when we originally signed up with Pest Routes, just so the listeners know, it's actually not as scary as it sounds. So when you are switching a software, service, or you're going from paper into a service like this, it's actually really smooth. And Byron, I want to say, you guys have done a great job, because when we jumped on, it was actually really easy. So we had a whole month of doing that transition. And by the time we, hit the ground running, I think it was January 2019 is I think when we did it. There was very, very few things we had to go back in and fix. So it was actually surprisingly very well.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. Our concept is an ounce of prevention's worth a pound of cure. So if we can get you set up, your company set up and running correctly, off the jump, it saves everybody time and effort down the road. And it's something we have a lot of experience doing. So we've been blessed to grow as quickly as we have. Since I've been here in the past 4 years, we've had over 1,500 companies, go through the process of implementation. We've had just over 200 actually so far this year. A couple hundred companies just in the past 3 months so far in 21 have made the transition. So it's very doable. We are experts at it. We've done quite a bit of it, and it is very doable. We try and make it as try and help lift make the lift and transition as smooth as possible.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And I guess we should have clarified a little bit about what is Pest Routes. Do you want to explain what that is?
Yeah. So let me take you back just a couple of years, actually. So our founder worked in the pest control industry. He's actually doing door-to-door sales while attending college. Was a double major in accounting and computer science, and ultimately managed a door sales team, and was frustrated at the efficiency in just scheduling an initial an appointment. That's where all the first iteration started from. So, one of his team members would call him, and say a customer could do it, Thursday at 4 or Friday at 1, and then he would hang up the phone and call the office and talk to the office and figure out what slots they had open. And then he'd call back and say, well, actually, we don't have those. And it just became a very inefficient process. So he wrote a simple app to help kind of streamline that. And, over the summers of doing door-to-door sales, ended up getting about 40 different companies to just use this pretty simple application. And, as he was graduating and applying to full-time jobs, he reached out to the 40 customers and said, who's got the best, pest control operational software out there so I can integrate with them and help you guys out because I'm going to go, do something else. And all 40 out of 40 said, we hate our software. We wish there was something better out there. And, he just said, man, someone needs to make a better product for this industry. And decided to make it happen. So that was about 7 years ago. We now have thousands of locations using our product. As I mentioned, we've had over 200 people just go live with the software transition so far this year. We're very blessed and grateful to be growing as quickly as we are. But, it kind of comes down to, we try to, there's a couple of mantras we have. We try and keep things simple, but really our objective is to help you get your life back. So stop wasting time doing inefficient tasks and let the software run some of the things that you don't need to do if you're using pen and paper, for example, and let you get back to the really impactful things of helping you grow your business.
Yeah, and I want to kind of jump on there. I mean, some things for me personally as a business owner of a pest control company is, one, you can schedule. So Pest Routes has a few awesome little things in there that have relieved a massive amount of stress. So even in the dashboard, when you first enter in, you get to see who needs to be, how many need to be scheduled, how many haven't been scheduled, how many have been serviced, how many haven't been serviced. And so you have quite a bit of different, graphs in front of your face that you can actually run through your company and see where it's at. I didn't start with you guys when you originally had it going. When did you even implement all those graphs?
We have been very aggressive at enhancing the product. So we really started in that very simple application about 6 or 7 years ago. And I couldn't tell you. It was I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. We rolled out that dashboard, but we're serious about making an impact and enhancing our product continually and making this the best service available.
Yeah, no, that's awesome because there's a few things that that's one of them. I can see everything that my company's going through pretty easily just right from there. And then within a few clicks, I can even go even deeper into finding out what's going on. But one thing that I thoroughly enjoy is actually the scheduling itself. Being a technician, and a lot of the listeners, they're technicians. They were technicians before they became an owner of their own company. So the routes, where to put it, and you get to see the map. You get to place the customers next to them. There's easy access to where you click on a customer and it tells you, hey, you're a mile away or you're less than a mile away, and you can place them right where they need to be, which is just a huge help. on my side of, being the owner, the operator, and I'm still out in the field doing some work. So that just makes it massive. I mean, just a huge help for me. But Byron, what's kind of the thing or the trend that you've heard from customers that are switching over? What's the main thing that they're loving about the system, or, what's different from what they're doing before?
Yeah, good question. So there's a couple of things that, we kind of think are really really helpful. Let me give you an example. So we've got a company that does about pretty significantly sized company, so larger than average, but they do about $5 million a year operating on a skeleton crew in their office because they leverage our product, and then they also use our sister company, Lobster Marketing, to help drive and convert new business online. Mm-hmm. And so they use all the tools and functionality we have, intelligent routing, automated reminders, collections, and other functionality, really, which just allows their team member to focus on things like answering customer phone calls and knocking doors to grow even further. And so there's a lot of, the pest control owner, you are the jack of all trades. There's a lot of things you've got to do. Especially if you've got a small crew of 1, 2, 3 people. And so, what we hear a lot is that, man, and this is one of my favorite things to hear is before switching, my office manager was spending 60 hours a week, leaving at 8 p.m., on average. And, a couple weeks after we made the switch, they're leaving right at 5 o'clock, and they feel like they've got their life back, and, they're able to go to their kids' soccer games. And that's what really drives us, me personally, is just helping people get their life back to focus more on their business, or to focus more on, on something else, and just let the software handle some of the inefficiencies that, you can't do very well when you're using Excel or just pen and paper.
Yeah, no, I know we talked about it before, and there's so many people I've run into going to, and I know you guys go to Pest World, which is in Las Vegas this year. I saw you guys are going to go to that. But when it was in Florida, I talked to a guy he had his own termite business out there. And I think this was right when we switched over. He said he had like 11 staff in his office, 11 or 12 people just doing paperwork.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Just doing paperwork, scheduling. And I let him know, at this time we switched over, I actually talked about you guys to him directly. And I don't know if he ever switched. I have no idea. But unfortunately, he would have to fire quite a bit of people if he did switch. But it does make it so much easier. It does help that process.
It really does. And what we say is, hey, look, you've got, if you're freeing up capacity from some people who no longer have to spend their days doing paperwork, use that for sales. Use that for further growing your business in some other way. I have a couple of small businesses myself, and just capacity to be able to do everything is, it's hard to come by. You are just wearing so many different hats, and if you can free that up and then instead get more proactive, figure out what you can do to, start a pocket, do something else a little bit more proactive to engage with your customers or to drive further growth. Like, that's a much wiser use of your resources rather than just paperwork, just to process.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And so, Byron, what would you say is the main difference between you and other software companies that have come up into the pest control industry?
Yeah, good question. So one of the things that's really unique about Pest Routes is we service the wide range of pest control companies. So we have lots of customers using our platform that are our one man army. They're doing everything out of the platform. all the way up. We have using the exact same product available to that one person. We have customers who have over 100 offices nationwide around the U.S. And so what's great about Pest Routes is it really helps you in every stage in between there, right? Whatever stage you're at, we by helping you spend less time with the less impactful day-to-day operations, letting the software handle that some of you, and spending more time growing your business, or focus on things that are a little bit higher impact. We really help our customers grow. So, for us last year, if you look at our customers from 2019 to 2020, our customer base grew an average of 22%. So that's significantly larger than what's happening kind of across the industry. And some of that's due to our sister company, Lobster Marketing. They're helping drive leads, helping generate website traffic, and being able to convert those customers automatically, from your website and have them drop right into your technician schedule on your Pest Routes account. That's an integration we have with them. Mm-hmm. But even some people who aren't choosing to use, our marketing services, just freeing up the time to be able to focus more on their business is really, it's really impactful. So we've seen a lot of, if you look at our competitors, they all have a little bit different approach, but I think we pride ourselves on being simple, focusing on investing in our customer experience. So and we structure our pricing, and everything about Pest Routes is built and structured in a way that as we help you as a business succeed, we succeed in the process. So we really look at this in more the vendor relationship and more like a partnership. We can't go door to door selling with you, but we can help drive revenue to your website. We can help you, give you tips on how to reduce your AR collections, and we try and do that.
Yeah, and you're talking a lot about Lobster Marketing, which I actually am currently doing.
Oh, cool.
So is that all? I know you keep saying sister company. So is that still part of Pest Routes? Is that all in-house?
Yeah.
What was that?
Yes. I mean, we're all part of the same group here. So, you can buy Pest Routes and not utilize Lobster Marketing, but we're all on the same team. Lobster's focused on pest control. They're an expert in the pest control digital marketing space. So they have, SEO, and we have kind of a whole group of people set up kind of on that side of the business. And then, I'm a little bit more focused on the Pest Routes, operation side. So I don't, deal with Lobster in my day to day very much. But and you can have one without the other. We have, customers who do that, but we are all, we're sister companies. We're all part of the same.
Yeah. Well, Byron, you're going to have to give me somebody's number over there to have them on. I just started with them too. So just at the beginning of the year.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Yeah. But, definitely I'll have to get somebody's contact information, and I can talk to them, a little bit more in depth about that. Cause I think coming from this episode, a big thing that I'm hoping, the technicians will talk to either their owners, the operators, or if they're running their own, that there is a system out there. There is something better. There is an easier way to do things. Instead of running through your little clipboard of, 15, 18, 20 jobs you got to go run through that day, and then having to try to schedule everything and the paperwork, there is an automated system out there, and you can just pull it up on your phone wherever you are, and it's done. So I'm hoping that they'll jump on this, because I can't tell you how frustrating it is when I talk to these people who are running on paper. I met one out here. In previous episodes, I talked about it, about I was going to buy this guy's business, and he came to me and he essentially gave me a Google sheet with all of his customers in it. And I asked him, how many customers do you have? And he couldn't even tell me a number. I can tell you exactly how many customers I have. I know that exact number. And unfortunately, even with previous companies we had before, I couldn't tell you that. I didn't have that. It was all, every time we ran we ran the numbers in the system, it always popped out a different number every time we did it.
Yeah. Two things, if you don't mind me just jumping in. Two things I'll say on there. One is that those insights. So that is something we hear from every, no matter what you're using before, you see how many active customers you have, how many recurring customers you have, how many potential, which is people you've signed, but you haven't done that initial appointment yet. Being able to see where, you're 25% and it's the 7th of April and you're 75% done this month. Like, man, you guys are killing it, versus you could be on the 15th and you're at 25% done with everything that's due this month. Oh man, I really need to there's so many insights that we offer into your information that, any software company is going to have, but just the ability to view that and be able to take action off of that is something we hear, a lot. And the other thing I was going to say is, we talk about, Google Calendar. I mean, this is your business has got to be your biggest asset. It's got to be the thing you're spending most of your time on during the week. And if you're not investing that, in an operational software that's going to help you grow it and scale it and make it the best it can be, I think that's being penny wise and dollar foolish. So it's going to cost a little bit more to have Pest Routes. We think the prices are reasonable for the value we provide. But I have yet to see a very successful, scalable company being run on Google Calendar or on pen and paper.
No, well, I agree 100%. I have yet to find one either. And I didn't actually purchase this guy's company because there was never a definitive number. There was never, this is how many customers I have, because they know. And that's another thing that, everyone needs to know is who's paying. If you have a Google Sheet or Google Calendar or whatever it is, you can't really keep track of who's paying and who's not unless you are manually going in and running that. Where it, in the system itself, I love that you can go and, batch payments and you can run everybody's credit card that you did for that day. And it's going to tell you who declined and who paid. So, that's a big feature I like.
Absolutely. Yeah. So another thing we hear, from all different size companies, but we regularly have people report how much gas they, especially switching over from another company. They use our intelligent routing or, some other, we've got a couple of different, flavors of how to make your route as tight as possible. Mm-hmm. And, we had one company tell us a month one, I saved more on gas than I pay you guys, per month. So just the gas savings alone for my technicians more than covers the total amount we pay you for the software. That's not including any of the AR reduction. When you complete a job and your email goes out automatically and your customer pays without you even doing anything about it, and by the time you get home that night, you've already got money, received. Like, those are the things that really are game changers for these businesses. And it's just wind behind my sails when we hear those and experience those. I'm so glad you've experienced that as well. But that's really what drives us and makes, I think it's one of the reasons we've been as successful as we are, and I expect we will continue to be, is that we're really focused on helping, these companies be as successful as possible. And we're just obsessed with our customers and helping them, in any way we can.
Yeah, and that's going to be, once someone jumps on it, that's what they'll see, right away, especially if you're going from an old school method of pen and paper or however they're doing it. They're going to see that because you can now see your route. You can now put that right into, Google Maps and see exactly where you're going, how close those customers are, and really cluster and make routes as tight as possible, which we've been able to do now. which has just helped out actually. And this is a cool thing. Not only does it help us save money on gas and everything, but then depending on how companies are paying their technicians, it's making the company more money and it's making the technician more money. And so even technicians listening, if you're running on, pen and paper, but you get a commission, if you switch, your commission is going to jump. I guarantee it. Just because you're going to be able to do more jobs in a shorter time frame.
Yeah.
So now,
absolutely. Well, that's another.
Oh no, what were you going to say?
Well, I was going to say, another thing that we love to hear is, before using, either a competitor or using, a very basic solution before using Pest Routes, and then after, another common thing we hear is, we're able to get, an extra stop, a day per technician. Or in some cases, it's 3 or 4 or 5, depending on, what you were doing before and how much efficiency we're helping you gain. But, being able to complete an extra job, as you mentioned, that's good. That's good for everybody. It's good for the business. It's good for the technician. He's getting, comped on that. Just, reducing, all the stuff that you do, but it's not really that important. Just helping streamline that, really, it's a rising tide that this all does.
Oh yeah, 100%. Now I do want to get on into what can they do? So if someone's listening and they want to get a demo or they want to find out anything about it, pricing, what can they do? How can they do that?
Yeah. So pestroutes.com, PESTROUTES. You'll find out information there. You can also call us. Let me make sure I got the number. Yeah, so our phone number is 404-800-7378. And I think it's, you can hit sales. I think it's 1 or 2. I think it's been a little bit since I've called it. You can also email info@pestroutes.com or sales@pestroutes.com, and we'll take care of it that way. If you go to our website, there's a chat. You can talk to someone live. We've got people who monitor that if you just have a couple questions before you get on a demo or something. So try and make it easy to reach out. I think that's about all the ways. Carrier pigeon, we're I don't think that's going to work anymore. We're co-located, so we when COVID hit, we've gone remote, and we will move to a shared space, in the coming future here. But it's going to be hard to reach us by that, but we try and make it possible for you to connect with us just by any other way.
Yeah. So and I went on the website. If you do put in just Pest Routes into Google, it does pop up. The very first one that pops up, if you click on that, I know you can put in all your information for the free demo, and they'll contact you. And that's what we did when we first decided. We actually reached out to a ton of different ones. And Pest Routes obviously is the one that, beat everybody out at the time. And so we jumped on with them. And from that, we got to see everything they did with that free demo. And I think it's only about a half hour of your time, 45 minutes. It's pretty quick with the demo and showing everybody. Mm-hmm. Isn't that right?
Yep. Yeah, it's typically about that. We'll cover, dashboard piece and kind of all the key, really impactful parts of the product, and just, let you ask whatever questions you have. But yeah, we have that team keeps us all pretty busy. So we're lucky to have word of mouth. We appreciate being on this podcast. A lot of our customers really are our biggest advocates, and that's really been the one of the drivers behind our success as we make one customer happy and they tell their friend about us. That's really how we've grown. Our sales team is used to fielding all sorts of questions, and our onboarding team is used to being a little nervous about switching. But we're definitely experts at it. At this stage, we've got a lot of experience doing that.
Oh yeah, no, and our experience with it was pretty simple. Even with the system that we did come from, to Pest Routes, it was very simple, pretty easy. And it was just kind of a plug and play, and it worked out really well. Byron, before we close, is there anything you want to add or say before we end?
Yeah. So, I mean, first, thanks. I appreciate being invited and put on this. This has been tremendous. Yeah, I guess if I were to boil kind of what our is, we're really here to help you get your life back. We hope and help you, trying to help you love your software and grow the business. So if those are your goals, no matter what you're doing today, I think I expect you will find that if you give us a shot to talk to you about it and show you what we can offer, I'm pretty confident we're going to be able to help you out in some way. And that's what gets me up in the morning is looking at the impact and hearing the stories of how our business is helping other businesses around the company grow. And so just thanks for being on there, and any of our customers are listening, thanks for being our customers. Anyone else, come take a look if you'd like.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much, Byron, and thanks for being on. I am definitely going to reach out and try to get someone from Lobster to have them come on, because I'd love to talk to them as well.
Yep, we'll make that happen.
Awesome. Thank you so much. You have a good day.
You too. Bye.
So there you have it, from Byron, the VP of operations. He did a great job explaining exactly what that software can do. And if you guys are still running on, old software, or even a software that's just not doing it for you, or you're a smaller company and you're running on a super expensive software, Pest Routes is actually very affordable. So surprisingly, we saved a ton of money just switching over to them, not including all the other benefits that came with it. But don't be shy to jump on. Software is not an expensive thing. It's not this massive monster beast that you have to be scared of. It is actually very affordable nowadays. The guy I mentioned, that even the guy that I was going to buy his company from, I asked him about a software. Why don't you use one? And the reason why he said is because it's too expensive. So I didn't talk to him about it. He's obviously my competition in the area, and I was looking at buying his company, but that was a big thing that I just sat back and was in awe. Why wouldn't you use a service? Why wouldn't you have a system? Why wouldn't you do that? Even if you are a one-man show. So from the day that we started, we had a software system. That's how we ran everything. So, make sure that you look into it. It's a free demo. There's no obligations. You can tell them no after, at the end of the day, but definitely check out Pest Routes, see what you can get from it, see how it can help you. And, if you're just a tech out there, and I know some of you guys are, talk to your owners. If you're running on paper, talk to your owners about that. You would be amazed at the money they would save from switching. And if they're scared of the first initial number or the monthly number, just go back into the office and see, how many people are you staffing? You have 5 people in the office. You could probably get away with just one. If you actually got a software company, and that would save them tons of money. So talk about it, open it up. We're DNA Pest Control Podcast is about the new. It's about the changing industry. We're so old, but also so young and new to everything. And that needs to stop. We need to stop running on the old school things. We're done with that. We've moved on. There's better ways. Just getting, single owner operators that are running routes with a system, they can focus more on customers and not in the office. That's going to free up so much more time for everybody. And if you can do that, can you imagine how much more you could grow? Could you imagine what you could add on, or the services, or even just the customer service that you could focus on from that? So don't be shy. Don't be scared. Be open to that. Ask them. Find out what it's going to cost. Find out the numbers. Find out what can happen. And I think you're going to be pretty impressed at what they're going to do and how they're going to help you There's no more worrying what invoices have been sent out, what, who needs to pay, what you need to collect. Are you making money? Because that really is going to be a big thing. And actually, if you go back and listen to Lady Exterminator, she's a business owner. She runs her own business, and she has to run those things. If you go back and listen to that episode, she talks about that. That was one thing that she kind of had a little tough time with in the beginning. She's better at it now, and I'm sure way better now. But since that episode, but that's something that if you're going to start your own business, you are running your own business, that's something that you have to look at. So definitely check it out. And once again, it's pestroutes.com. If you just put that in, Pest Routes, into Google, it's going to pop up. You can put in your information, get a free demo. But thanks for listening, guys. And also, do not forget to send me a message on Instagram at DNA Pest Podcast, or you can send an email at dnapestpodcast@gmail.com, or go to the website. You can now subscribe onto our email, and we'll be sending out weekly updates, actually twice a week, for new episodes that are coming out. Also, you can go onto our Facebook. So we have a Facebook now and a Facebook group. Go on there, okay? It's going to be an open group for anything, any topics. If there's somebody or something you want me to hunt down and do an episode on, you can always throw it in that group chat, and we'll figure it out. I'll make it happen. I'll try to find the person I need to talk to kind of run through it. And I'm going to reach out to Byron, and we're going to talk about lobster marketing. For anybody who's looking into Pest Routes, lobster marketing is actually a pretty cool thing. And I'll explain my experience with it, and hopefully I can get them on to talk about it as well. But thanks for listening to the DNA Pest Control Podcast.